Dear respected teacher, dear sisters and dear friends, today is 25th of March, 2023. As sisters, after years after the COVID, this is the first time that we return to Adelaide. Myself, I came to Adelaide, I think that longer than 10 years ago, in different corner of Adelaide with different people. So this time it's just totally new. People and environment, especially here. This morning in the walk, when the sister took us to the pine forest with the big tall pine trees, somehow the pine trees give us a lot of oxygen, so I feel so fresh and grateful. And I think that the greatest thing that happened to my life is coming and living in Australia. I've been, as a nun with Luong village tradition. We have centers around the world. And I've been living quite a number of centers in Europe, America, Asia, and Australia. So right now I'm living in Nghiem monastery, a student entering monastery in Melbourne. And one of my sisters here from Mountain Spring Monastery in Sydney. Yesterday, after we made the family, and Peter's youngest girl gave me a hug good night. Some unforgettable moments like this is so hard to forget, and it touched my heart so deeply. And somehow it's a little thing in life, like when you cannot sleep, and then you just follow our breathing, and then our sleep just fell down and you're gone. You didn't know that you fell to sleep. When did you fall to sleep? But when you wake up, you feel so fresh and very grateful that we have a good sleep. Anybody have a good sleep last night? Yeah. Somehow in the retreat, I really admire you. That you sleep, you sleep in a room with totally strangers. But, for the first day, sometimes I say, oh, is it okay I do this? Is it okay I do that? But second day, God, everybody looks like family. And you can bear, each other. We accept everybody's way of living. For me, that I'm very grateful. In my life, I feel very grateful for those who really put their all energy, their life, their time into the practice. And they try their best, even though their practice not really improve overnight, but as long as they try the best to practice, that is the best already. Because everybody, any one of us have different level of the practice. And in this tour, after so many years that I hadn't been going to retreat like this, because we always organize retreat at our monastery. Like before I came back to Australia, I live in Plum Village, Thailand. Anyone been there? And the retreatants come to our monastery. So I didn't have to prepare a lot. But this time, I think that I returned to my old memory that I have to come to the campsite and repair this and repair that. And all the good memories came back too. So it happened when I went to Singapore for the retreat, and we have a core members there, and I had an attendant, a lay attendant. She offered me a rose, and amazing that the rose bought from the shop, but it's still blooming when I put it in a vase. And it's very rare, because usually when you bought the rose, it's die after it didn't open. But that time it's opened, and she told me that that's very rare. Shiko is a sister, is a very rare sister, but the rose still open after you bought it. And we've been together since 2017, and we've been practicing together. Lee, remember Lee? And last year, the doctor told her that she got cancer at the last stage. So she took her time to travel to France, Plum Village, France, and Germany, and Thailand, and Vietnam. And then she returned to Singapore. And this morning she passed away. Yes. Very peaceful face. She really enjoy, she offer a lot of opportunities to orphans, Vietnamese orphans in Vietnam. She make a school for them and give them food at lunch. And she was a professor in Singapore University. So I think that when we really live wholeheartedly, there's nothing to feel regret, So one of our friends sent a picture, and her face, very peaceful and didn't show anything that she hasn't done for her life yet. So may we send her our love and peace for her new journey in one side of the bell. So thank you so much. I'm sure that she received already. The theme for this retreat is coming home, right? So I make our first talk is the topic for our first talk is home sweet home. Somehow, when I learn English, people, we say, home sweet home when they just return to the home. And I just imitate them. Whenever I go home, I feel really, at ease. So I repeat it as a home, sweet home. So when I prepare for my talk, I ask my sisters, what does it mean, home, sweet home? Even you learn, English is my second language, but when you imitated people, but you didn't really know, you don't really understand what it means. So my sister told me that home sweet home means that you feel very nice and relaxed when you return to your own home. Right? Is it true? Yeah? Okay. So in this, when we went to Adelaide, we stayed at Marcia and a friend's house. I tried to say home sweet home because it's not my home, but somehow when you say home sweet home to tell you that you really arrived, make yourself at ease, and is that's the attitude. I think it is an attitude. Somehow, of course, that you have to be aware that what you're doing is something you're doing wrong in somebody's house. But is it really when you come to our friend's house, we usually say home sweet home to our heart, because you take them as family. You take them as family, and also this is home that with a very good heart and with people. And going the tour like this, you stay in a strange house, a friend's house, and go to the camp like this. It's just like you move around. If you some people find very hard to sleep when they stay overnight in a strange place. So it's very hard to have a good sleep. Anybody like that? Yeah. So it's somehow when you get used to it, now it's time to go home. But coming home here, it's not a physical structure. It's not like a roof and fill up with families. Of course, it's just a house. It's an empty house. You cannot say it's just a home. Right? It's just a house. But we fill up with family, friends, and we live together, and we're happy together. We call it home. And so whenever you go away and then you return, it says home sweet home. So make you feel like a feeling of safe. You're feeling safe. Feel relaxed. But somehow our home is full of fire also. So today, like when we learn the teaching, home here means right here. In this physical body, in this right soul that inside of us. And this somehow we when we learn the practice, we have to know that how we can take care of our home. So first question that we have to ask ourselves that, are we ready to come back? Is there fear there when you want to go home? Is anyone here you feel happy, safe, and relaxed when you return home? Yeah. So just take a moment, close your eyes, and use your hand. Your palm is a place that the more sensitive place. So that's why when you hold hand, you can feel the other person's energy. So you can put in your heart. Take a deep breath. Am I home yet? Do I feel relaxed, at ease, at peace? Or I feel heavy, tired, restless? Is my hands messy? My soul hurting? Do I want to return to my home? Take a three deep breaths. Thank you very much. So in this body, our self, that the Buddha defined, said that it consists of the 5 aggregates. Is our body, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. So first of all, that you want to take care of our home. So first of all, we have to take care of our physical body first. And the only way that to keep our physical body healthy, we do exercise. So before you you return home, you have to know that how your home is. Is it messy, tidy, beautiful, or ugly? You know. So the practice is mean that you have to. It doesn't mean that you avoid to go into 2 extremes. One is grasping and one is rejecting. If it's tidy, beautiful, you love it. But if it's not, you reject it. And the practice help us to go in the middle way. It doesn't matter is how it is, beautiful or ugly, but it's still our home. We cannot reject this body, right? Because this is our home. So whatever it is, you have to know how it is first. Just like yesterday in the orientation, our friend said that you want to find some peace, calmness in this retreat. And she also said that if you want it, you get it. But somehow you want it, but you still cannot get it. And great suffering and disappointment. So the practice, the keys of the practice is you just recognize what it is. It doesn't matter that, you succeed to achieve what you want, what you want to achieve, or you fail what you want to achieve. So the key is just stay in a middle way that, okay, I failed this time, but I'm still going. And I'm happy that I'm still going. And if you check in yourself and say, okay, I succeeded. I achieved a calm mind this time. You're happy. But don't grasp it. So say that, okay, this morning in sitting meditation, my mind is so peaceful. And I just feel like I'm the happiest person on earth. I want to get it again. So you try to sit again. But the more you want it, your goal will fall away. That is expectation. Whatever you do in the practice, do not expect anything in return. The more you want it, the more it go away. So the key is that, when we know that the practice that is simple, is easy, but it's hard to get. You know why? Because our expectation too much from ourselves. When the wheel running, how can you just stop and then you make the wheel stop right away? Like a bicycle, if it's running, how can you just stop and make it stop right away? If you go to put a stick into the middle of the wheel and you want it to stop, it will break, right? So it takes time to slow down. When you practice a little, stop, slowly. That is the middle way. Even you fail this time, when you do sitting meditation and your home is so restless, it's still okay. And there's a saying, it's okay for being not okay. You heard that? Yeah. So the thing is, it's okay for not being not okay. It means that you have a very clear mind to know what's going on. So this time it's not okay, but other time it's okay. So the things around us happening, changing, but your mind, your mindfulness stays still and see things around. Just like you go uphill and go downhill. So somehow in the practice, I saw so many people get tired and lose faith in their practice because they don't get anywhere in the practice. Anyone here like that? I said, why I still get angry? Even though that I told myself that just stop and breathe, but my anger is still burning my face. So the practice, the journey of coming home is a journey that, with joy and let it go. Sometimes that we go up, we have to spend a lot of energy. You use a lot of energy to go uphill. And when you go downhill, you feel more relaxed. But you don't get say, why have to go like that? So the keys in the practice is mean that whatever happens, you enjoy it. When my face, show my anger, I become grumpy. Just take a deep breath and observe it. Just for example, when we walk and you see a big hole in front of you, you don't step on it, right? So when you walk and you see a big hole in front of you, you stop. You observe. And you see which way that is safe for you to walk past. So the practice like that. When you encounter a very, bad emotions in a day, just like a big hole in front of you, you don't react to it first. You step back, take a deep breath. So it's the way that you see, which way that, takes time to observe. So which way that is safe for us to go by. So when you have emotion, a strong emotion, exactly the same. Just stop and listen and looking. So in that moment, you use your mindfulness. Mindfulness is just like children say, your calmness. Your calmness, not reacting right away. Some of us have the habit that they speak before they think. So it's hard to really stop and observe. And I love all the sign on the road in Australia. When across the road, they say stop, look, listen until it's safe, and then you walk. In our practice, when we take care of our home exactly the same way. So sitting meditation, walking meditation, mindful breathing, that's all the tool for us to really step back and listen and be calm. There's nothing related to religion here, right? This is how to take care of all this body, all his heart, and all his mind. Yeah. And I see that for me that I make a lot of mistakes on my path. And I fail so many times. And I have so many habit energies. So we are the same. You don't see that in this form that I can be better. No. Form is just a form. And in the Buddha's time that one of the provinces asked the Buddha, when you be born in a very high class in the society, so your meditation will be better than the person who is asleep. And the Buddha said no. Just like when you make a fire, it doesn't matter what kind of wood you use, it's to make a fire, right? It's a bad wood or a good wood. They make a different fire. Different kind of wood will still make a fire. And the difference is how diligent they are. It just depends on which class in the society they belong to. If they are slave, if they're diligent in the practice, they practice practice much better than the other one. So in the practice the Buddha taught us is really for us is you see that how diligent we are, how much we put our practice, our heart into the practice. That counts. So the first one that I shared, that before, when you're going home, you have to take the middle way. It means no grasping. And no retracting. So it means that this one, you when you practice like that, it means that you express your love to yourself. Sometimes you expect yourself too much because you fail. And you feel up to the heaven because you succeed. But you still make your mind just up and down like this. Failing or succeeding will be okay. As long as you're there. Right? The second, be diligent. So it's just like when you practice, when you come to the retreat, you practice a lot. But when you go home, you let it go. It never work that way. So that's why in our teacher taught us that you have to be mindful all day long. Whatever you do it mindfully. So it's a way that you can feel the practice much more. I think that after the COVID-19, no, it's still on, right? Is it still on COVID? Mm-hmm. The people still get COVID, right? Yeah. But according to the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare, there's a status that there's a lot of people who commit suicide because of COVID. Yeah. And it's and the risk factor is because of over 65 has a mood disorder, including depression, and 40% of them had problems relating to employment and unemployment. And they have problems in social environment, including social isolation. A majority people live in New South Wales, Victoria, and Queensland. I said, oh, no Adelaide. Is it a good news? But especially young people. They took their life about from 15 to 24. Can handle the reality. And it's when I knew this, it's hard to accept. But we have to do it. We have to accept it because that is the report from the government. So, and I asked myself that why people took their lives. It's if we don't know how to take care of one emotion, and you ruminate it again and again and again. So that bad feeling increasing, just like people in depression. They don't feel safe. They isolate themselves. And they don't see that, their home is right here. So somehow they have fear that some people will come and kill them, or some people judge to them. And somehow it's hard to accept. It's hard to accept. But our teachers said that, why you have to die because of one emotion. If you just close your eyes and you see, can you count your emotions in a day? Or just up and down, come and go. And I think it's very related to grasping and rejecting. You're happy because this taking, make us happy. But somebody say something bad to us, rude to us, and we're sad. Because you reject it. You don't accept it. So our emotions up and down 1,000 times a day. And the scientist said that in a day we had 60,000 thoughts a day. Can you imagine if you just take hold or grasp one thought, bad thought, and it's multiplied so many times? And how can you handle it? So it means that the mindfulness practice help us to really be mindful in every moment of our life. To recognize that, okay, my mind's like this. I have this, this feeling is arising in me. Just recognize it. Sometimes you recognize it's just a first step. You recognize it, and what? What else do I do? When you have a very strong emotion, you recognize it. Anybody here never get angry? We always get angry. But it depends on the degree that you express outside. Sometimes people hold back inside. They don't express it externally. But I see that, is it true that female expresses more than male? Strong emotion? That's true. Sometimes, people, when they get angry, they speak up. Some people don't hold back. But if you don't have the practice, holding back your strong emotion will be a bomb. And this may be one of the causes that people take their life. So whenever you have strong emotion, the teaching said that you recognize it. When you're angry, you recognize that there's anger in me. The next step for my practice, I'm not sure that, like sometimes our teachers say that when you have strong emotion, first you have the mere recognition. Just recognize it as it is and embrace it. So how can you embrace it? Because maybe anger represents, it contains heat, right? When you're angry, you feel very hot. When you're angry, your muscle very strong because it stimulates fight and flight more in us, and you're ready to get fight. You're fighting. So your muscle become, or the muscle in your hands stronger, your heart beat faster. But after you recognize it, how you can embrace it? That is your choice. That is your choice of reacting to it. Embrace, it means that just like a crying baby, you come and cradle it, But it's so hard because it's a hard baby. You get burned. So to my practice, that when I embrace, it means that I be gentle to it. Be gentle is mean that you be with it with care, and just be there for it by breathing. Take your breathing, and because your emotion, when you have strong emotion, your breath is very, very low, very shallow. It's stuck here. So sometimes you're not happy, you're angry, you're irritated, your breath, you feel blocked here in your chest. So be gentle, it means that you take your mindful breath to soothe it. You have to soothe it physically first, before you touch to the emotion part. Sometimes your emotion affects your physical body. Hard to breathe. Your face becomes really sad or hot or unbearable look, So that's why I usually say that when you're angry, you should not look at anybody. Because, you know why? Because your eyes full of fire. You can burn people by your look. So be gentle, it means that you better just sit still in one place and breathe. You make this block go away first. Calm it down, just like when you see the big hole, step back and look listen. Our breathing is so a miracle that, it can save life. Sometimes you just take a deep breath. You don't react right away. So you save your relationship. Because if you react right away, you can say something very damaging to your relationship. So thanks to mindful breathing, you can save that. So that's why when people come to Plum Village, they say that, why is teaching so simple? Breathe and smile. It's not easy at all, I try to smile when I get angry. When I'm angry, I cannot smile. But the thing is, we need a little effort. We need to be gentle to it. Gentle means that when you gentle to your strong emotions, it means that you be gentle to yourself. That's a way to express your love. That is a way to take care of your home. And sometimes I have the habit that, when I get angry, I got hot-tempered. I always blame my father. Say, my father's he's a very angry man. I said, because of him, that's why I'm here. But it's not true, you can take care of it. So instead of blaming for your parents who transmitted to your bad habit, bad seeds, instead of doing that, you say thank to the practice. So I know how to transform that seed. If I can transform that seed in me, it means that I can transform that seed in him. Because I'm here because of him. Thanks to him that I have this life. Thanks to him that I have so many good qualities. So that's the way that we will learn about it tomorrow, about positive thinking. So this is a way that you can see, you perceive one matter in different angle. How you see our life in different way. What time it is? Okay, so we have about a few minutes because we have lunch at 12 o'clock. We usually have lunch at 12:30 in our monastery. So when I look at my watch, it's still 11:30. It's still plenty of time. But if I'm not aware of it, I will go ahead, take all the time to lunchtime. But to take care of our home is, I think, is a long journey. And all of us should take this journey as a happy journey. Sometimes that we just, we don't have to do anything. We just start and breathe. If you can smile to yourself, that's great. So it's a way that we can slowly, we know how to go through the journey to cut off our afflictions. about us. And thanks so much that, give the sisters a chance to be with you. And I usually said that the greatest gift that the retreatants can offer to monastic is your practice. If you can find the way out from your suffering, that's the greatest gift. If you can save and stop before you're reacting to a bad situation, that's the greatest gift. So, taking care of our own home together is also the greatest happiness, So it's this is the way it is, and don't rush. And remember, the practice has no shortcut. You have to do it step by step. You have to do sitting meditation regularly. To stop whenever you feel not at ease, not happy. Take a deep breath. And just be still and observe what's happening. That I really be honest that in my life that there's so many things happening, and most of them I don't know how to behave and how to react to it. Maybe I react based on my expectation. I reacted based on anger. I react based on my desire. So somehow the practice helps me to stop and to decide what I should behave myself. We can make a lot of mistakes. So let's celebrate today. Today is today's day. Together, it means that the practice is very simple, that bring our mind back to our body in a present moment. And then if you have that, you can deal with anything happening to us in a mindful way. Slowly. So do not expect yourself too much. And be honest that when I observe the children in this retreat, they learn a lot. They observe the parents, they observe the adults, what they're doing. So behave yourself. That is a good seed that we're planting. So it's when the parents come to the practice, but when they go home, they're still arguing and they're fighting. It didn't plant any good seeds in the children. What is still practice. I remember one thing in the past before I became a nun. It's so embarrassing, but I still told you. I was in university. That time is 1993, and I was in university in RMIT in Melbourne. But my sister, we are adult already, is 20s, 21, 25. She's 25 and I'm 21. We still fight. And we argue fight but my dad came to our room and said, "Why you go to temple for?" So that question is, I feel so embarrassing, you know. So I say, what did you learn from the temple? And from that question, it just woke me up. And I said, oh, that's true. So I started fighting with my sister, my elder sister. I'm the youngest, but I'm a very fearful one, scary one. So I stopped and, you know, like, I really questioned myself that what did I learn? So since then, at least, and thanks to my father, that question led me to the spiritual life. And I'm very grateful for that. You know, some people just wake you up. So thank you so much. And did you get anything from our talk? I think that, you know, sometimes I prepare my talk, but I just share half of it. I never complete my preparation. So we continue tomorrow, and there's a lot to learn together. So I hope that everybody gets some hints and something to practice. And the Buddha usually say that you don't need to believe me what I say. You have to put it into your own life and practice it. And you know, if you know that what is wrong and what is right things to do, you should do that based on your understanding. So don't believe me. Try to do it. So thank you so much for your listening. So now we will listen to 3 sound of bell and return to our breathing. And thanks for all the conditions we're having right now in this retreat. And offer ourselves a smile.